What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
I know what's going on, Big Shot Bob. It's Friday. And this is the shoot-around, episode 121 of our little bonus Friday show. If you ever have a question for us, find us, man. We're out there at Rob Jenners, at bharper90, at Ori7 or 7X Ori or whatever the hell your handle is. I don't know. Hey, you look for the guy posting pictures of space goddesses and fairies. That's usually Rob. You can find him posting links to his game online.
No, just go to Robert Ory 7 times on Instagram.
There you
That's
go. Robert Ory 7.
Robert
Ory 7X. Question from Pete. We didn't talk about this on the Tuesday show. We should have. Rob, your boy Dabo went off this week on other teams tampering with Clemson, calling out coaches and schools. I know he's your boy, but do you agree with his stance on this, or does he have to adapt? I don't know how much of this you heard or know about, but he sat up there and he kind of called out Pete Golding and Ole Miss specifically by name for tampering with one of his dudes and trying to get him to transfer after the portal had closed and after he was enrolled and all this stuff. And, I mean, he brought receipts. I'm not going to go through all the audio because there's just so much of it.
It's a lot of it.
Dude, it's like he was up there for a good 15, 20 minutes just railing. But his point was there's no guardrails. And if you're going to do this and you're a young coach doing it, you should call it out if you get tampered with. And my only thought here before I get your answer to this question would be, call it out to who? Because the NCAA doesn't give half a shit. Like, they don't even kind of care. They have other bigger fish to fry, and they are the ones that caused 90% of this portal chaos anyway. They don't care. So who are you calling it out to? There are no guardrails here. Does it suck? Yeah, I think it sucks. I think if your dude's enrolled and he's signed, he's in classes, and he's got a scholarship package, all right, we're done. He's here. You don't need to start throwing $1 million bribes and text messages, which is apparently what he was accusing Golding of doing. So, I don't know. Did Dabo have a point, or does he need to adapt?
He has a point, but he also has to adapt. You know, I think the thing is it's the NCAA. They need to have some type of rules and regulations to things. It's just a wild, wild west now. You know, you got kids agreeing to something, all of a sudden somebody else says, you know what? I give you more money. And he says, okay, bye-bye. And they're not holding these kids accountable. And this is how the society is growing up. You think about how much athletes are pampered anyway. Now you pamper them even more. They're going to be out of touch in the real world. When you got to get to the real world, and now you're like, well, I can't get a job, but, I have a job. I want to go over here. Oh, I can't get this. I can't get that. It's not making people grow up and not making people be held accountable. And that's the whole thing out of this whole thing. You know, once you make a decision, you got to be held accountable. It's no flip-flop, going back and forth. Stick with your decision and ride with it.
You're right, but I do think leadership from that standpoint starts at the top. And we've seen coaches not abide by that. You can't – players have been restricted for so long. And I do understand what you're saying, and I agree with it to a degree, but you got to have that same stance for coaches too. If you make a commitment, I need you to be here. You can't hold players to that, but not hold coaches, because Lane Kiffin can go take another job somewhere else and still at the same time ask permission to try to coach his old team in the college football playoff. No, you made your decision. So you rock with your decision because that's the choice you made. I'm not knocking it for taking a better job, but you made the decision to leave while your team is competing for a national title. And so it's hard to hold players to that who are new to this whole thing when it comes to being able to control certain things that they can do, make a certain amount of money, and go get what they want, their choice. And then coaches who've been able to do this for quite some time and leave in the middle of the night after you sat there and told a kid's parent or whoever guardian that you'll be there. It starts at the top. The problem is NCAA has no guardrails. There's no leadership in the NCAA. It's a free-for-all. It's the Wild Wild West. And so if it's the Wild Wild West, it's the Wild Wild West for everybody. Don't start with the kids. Start with the leadership.
Well, you got to start with. But my whole point is you got to hold people accountable. Even like now, my whole thing is with coaches and coaches leaving. You shouldn't allow a coach to leave either. If a coach gets fired and then the kid wants to leave, that's a different story. So now the Lane Kiffin thing, and anybody says, "Oh, I'm leaving because of more money." No, you got a contract here, dog. You got to hold on, and I agree. But it's just there are no rules. It's just the whole system is flawed, and even with the kid going back to Alabama, like, well, are you serious right now, dude? You go back and y'all still lose, and it's like stay where you are, stay in the G League. This is the decisions you made. Got to rock with it.
But that's life. But that's life. Like a kid can leave, and like I said, I've always said I'm agreeing on both ends of the sides of the coin. I'm all for you leaving. But I'm all for you dealing with the consequences that come with where you go, because you think you're leaving for a better opportunity, but it may not be. But you also have to deal with that. That's life. That's like leaving one job and going to another. You got to be able to take both sides of that coin and not just say, hey, I only want one side of this thing, and that's just not how that works. So I'm for freedom. They got to deal with the other side too.
If you're able to leave, you should have to be like the old rules. You have to sit out 1 year. That applies to coaches too. If you transfer within conference, that's 2 years. That's the rule they need to go back to. And when that happens, that's going to keep a lot of this movement at bay. It's going to keep a lot of people saying, well, damn, I got to sit out a year. My stock might drop. My stock might get better. Who knows?
But the thing is, well, I don't think they'll ever go there, because then no coach will ever take a new job, one. And then two, it only became an issue when the kids wanted to leave. It was never an issue when anybody else wanted to leave. It only became an issue when the kids wanted to leave.
Well, because there were rules in place that said the kids couldn't leave.
But that's just it. But now that veil has been uplifted, now everybody is upset when a 17 or 18-year-old kid wants to make a decision that he thinks is better for himself, whether it be for money or playing opportunity. I'm like, well, hey, when you let one thing happen, the floodgates happen, and the floodgates are opening for NIL and all this other stuff, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I think for me, when it comes, I think it's a different for the kids, just because it's a trickle down effect. Because now you got to understand, it's messing with kids in high school, and that's you think about, and I'm not just talking because it happens with Christian. I'm just talking about overall. I'm thinking about how now. You with the transfer now, you got nobody's signing kids in high school unless you're the top 25, and I get it. It's always the cream of the crop. You take what's at the top, but now you got people sitting here like you never know what this kid can do. You take Austin Reeves for instance. They was like, okay, wait. He did 4 years of college and he did his thing. Now he killing it. And then you look at the other side of that where you got Connect doing 4 years and he's struggling. But I think. Because of this, now kids out of high school, they don't even want to go to college now. They want to go to what's the school called? I just lost thought of it. They got to go to I call it the 13th grade. What you call like before you go to college?
Prep school.
Prep school. Yeah. Okay. Now you got to go to prep school. Now you think about it. I call it the 13th grade. You put 1 year in prep school. Now it says, okay, I'm not being recruited. I'm now going to junior college. Now you got 2 years of junior college. Now you got 4 years of college. It's just because, and all this is happening because of the portal, and teams are waiting on guys to just, I want to go here, I want to go there. That's the only reason I don't like it, because it's messing up the system where you can get some of these kids in high school and you can let them get to that school and develop in a great system, a great program, so they can get to where they want to be at a quicker rate. And now you got to wait out. It's not making gumbo. It's just not making sense to me. It's just too messed up.
Now you have a few guys like Dante Moore, the quarterback at Oregon, who's not going into the 2026 NFL draft and is going to stay another year. You have some guys where they're like, and really it's because they make enough money in college. They make more money in college than they would in their
your rookie deal's going to suck.
Yeah. So it's like, well, heck, I'm not in any rush to get to the NFL because I'm making $4 to $5 million right now. I might as well come back for another year, develop a little more,
see
maybe
if I can
finish
win
business,
an Addy or playoff games or something. Yeah,
and keep it pushing. And then there are some guys, they'll be in college forever. They're 25, 26 years
like
old.
Indiana's whole team.
Like everybody who played for Indiana, or Diego Pavia, who's trying to get a 7th or 8th or 9th year of eligibility, whatever the hell it is. Yeah,
that's why I don't understand what Ty Simpson was thinking about. I'm like, dude, you had the opportunity to make freaking $5 million in college.
More than that. Didn't
You ain't
Miami
making
offer him
that
like
in the league.
$6 million or something to go play for Miami?
Yeah.
What are you talking
What the hell
about?
are you thinking?
But okay, so here's the other part of this too, and I saw this today, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I'm gonna kind of surmise the story. To the same point about guys being paid in college, did you see what Deion Sanders put in place?
Oh, penalizing.
Monetary penalties.
Penalties, yep.
For his players. So if you're going to get paid like a big boy, you're going to get fined like a big boy. You're late for practice, $500. You miss practice, you're no show for practice, $1,500. If you don't show, I mean, it was like a whole, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's a whole series of monetary penalties that he put in place for Colorado players. Now, my only question is, and I don't know this, does this count for the guys that aren't getting paid? Because you got a roster full of kids that ain't making crazy NIL money. You maybe have 5 or 6 that are getting really paid. But what happens when that kid that's not making barely anything is getting banged $500 for being late for practice?
Or don't be late for practice.
And then what happens when he goes, well, I can't pay that. What do you want me to do? You can throw me off the team?
Pretty
okay,
sure
fine. But then what are you going to re-recruit guys all the time because you're finding them left, right, and center?
I think I don't have a problem with promise because I don't know how many guys on this team. You may have some who are making big money, and then you may have some who make decent amount of money to where I can penalize you $500. Because even if you make, let's say you make $3,500, $4,000, okay, don't be late, or you're gonna give me $500 of that $4,000.
But I don't want to play for him at that point.
I think it's going to be scale. Like if it's going to be 10% of your NIL deal or something like that.
Yeah, but even then, I'm for me.
Coach, I only make $100.
Right, but it's off-putting for me. Because I'm like, if you want to write me up or something, or like if you want to suspend me a game, all right, fine, whatever. But if you start hitting me in the checkbook, I'm going to transfer out.
But that's the other side of getting paid, though.
I'm going to transfer out, though.
This is nothing new, to be honest with you guys, because one time we had, when I was at Alabama, everybody on the team, except for about 3 of us, snuck out. And the coach was sitting down in the car like this. He left, he left, he left, he left, he left. And so for the next month, those guys got doctor per diem. And you got to think about this. You ain't making NIL money.
Right.
So it's been happening for years, but now you got to figure, what am I going to eat this weekend?
Okay, but that's college student money. Now, if you're right, if they're getting paid like professionals, okay, then there's going to be professional penalties. I understand that side of it. I don't know how it applies to everybody. You're right. It's got to be scale. Yeah. And even then, that's not a motivator to me, though. Like, I'm not a motivated person by risk of penalty. Give me something to play for. Give me something to rally for. Offer me a bonus if I show up all week on time. Not dock me if I'm late once. Now, I, by the way, am a college athlete. I'm a student athlete. I have classes to go to. What happens if I run late for class and you bang me $500 for showing up late? Because the professor held me over.
Well, I mean, in the land of we always talked about NIL is not just about what you do on the field. It's about your name, image, and likeness. So you could get a deal somewhere. You could be the guy, 3rd string quarterback that could have an NIL deal, based off whatever else he may do. Because we've seen a lot of guys who barely touch the field who are getting paid $1 to $2 million a year because they built their brand. So it ain't always about what you do on the field that gets you your money. But 2, it's a form of discipline. If you're going to be in this NIL world, cool. Once you start paying these guys, you start making a certain amount of money, okay, now you're in the form of an adult. You start talking about taxes and you start talking about all this other type of stuff, then I should be able to fine you like one, because a lot of these guys want to go to the league. What happens when you miss practice in the league? They fine you. When you miss this and you do this, they fine you. So if you're about prepping to get to the next level, well, there's a level of accountability that you got to have in order to get ready for the next level.
Rob, did you get fined when you missed practice or any of that stuff?
I never missed practice. I never was late.
That's also an option.
Well, excuse me, Mr.
That's an option.
Teacher's fucking pet over here.
I was never late. Yeah.
I did my homework.
I've seen a lot of guys who have gotten fined. I've seen a lot of guys who got left. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the other side of that coin.
And again, I get all that. I just feel like doing it for guys that are there. I don't know, man. College level for me, at some point there's going to have to be some kind of a collective bargaining done for college coaches and players, like some sort of union, if you will, and I don't know if it's a union or what it looks like because that's impossible to manage over all these different schools and all these different provinces, and some are private and some are public, and like there's just it's a big muddy mess. But the NCAA is going to have to put some kind of guideline rails in place for some of this stuff. And I know that's a little far off from the Deion stuff, but I feel like the Deion stuff kind of applies.
You know what's going to come up next, and they probably talked about it a little bit with all this other stuff? Trades.
Well, again, start trading college players.
Okay, but now more reason to have some sort of collective bargaining in place, so there's rules to go.
You're never going to be able to trade a player in college. Never.
They never thought they'd be able to pay players legally. But look at where we are.
I thought that because it was the way how much money it was making, you was going to have to give these players money.
Right.
But to be able to trade a player, you ain't made it because you got to think about it. Let's say now you at UCLA. UCLA doesn't have a business program. And you're a businessman, and they say, "Oh, I'm trading you to UCLA." No, dude, they ain't got no business program there. They got a business program for graduates, but not for what I want to get my degree in. So that's gonna be the main hookup. Like, you can't just trade me to some school. Okay. Like, hey, I ain't Catholic. You better not trade me to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna have sex in college. You better not trade me to BYU.
Look, they having sex.
It's a lot of things.
Look, they getting freaky in Notre Dame.
No, BYU.
No, BYU.
They getting freaky at BYU.
Yeah, but they find out.
Got like 7 wives. What are you talking about? BYU. Oh
so,
no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that this week's shoot around is going to be called "You Better Not Trade Me to BYU."
Yeah, man.
Because I'm having sex.
Because I'm getting laid.
Remember the player that got kicked off BYU's basketball team because he found out he was having sex?
Oh yeah.
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
they make you sign that moral clause or something when you become
all the more reason not to go to Brigham Young. Not happening. All right, question from Davis. Rob, at what age did you know that's it for you? I keep seeing these old heads balling out at 37 years old, and it's wild. Is that just because of today's NBA versus what you guys had to endure? To his point, I pulled some numbers here. LeBron at 41 years old is 22.3 points per game, 6 rebounds, almost 7 assists. Steph at 37, 27.4 points per game, almost 4 rebounds, almost 5 assists. Durant at 37, 26.3 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Westbrook at 37, 15.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, almost 7 assists. And Harden at 36, 25.8 points per game, almost 5 rebounds, and just over 8 assists a game. So those are all dudes, 36, 37, in LeBron's case, 41, that are still balling out. So he wanted to know, is that just a function of today's NBA versus what you guys had to endure?
I think the key is that you look at all those guys that they're high volume shooters, and when you play the game of basketball, when you get a lot of shots, you're gonna stick around for a while. When you don't get no shots, you gotta do the grunt work. Man, you're like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Okay.
And plus they don't want to pay you for the grunt work. And I think that was for me. I was tired. I was done. I didn't want to do the grunt work no more. I didn't want to get my body in shape to do the grunt work to not get appreciated. So I was just done. Yeah. So,
okay.
But you see now though that nowadays these guys, they still shooting that thing. They enjoying the game. So you can see a lot of this throughout basketball, especially when they add another 2 teams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, look, man. These guys that are getting older but are scoring the way they are, they have taking the way they take care of their bodies. Obviously, some of the concept of load management.
All of them take care of their bodies. What those guys? Does he really take care of his body?
Well,
we can call him out though.
well, at the same time, I also think you got to look at the league is so offensively driven that guys get calls left and right. So you talking about going like James Harden goes to the line a lot. So a lot of them points are coming at the line. Not saying, but offensively he can get to the basket, he can shoot, but every little tic-tac foul gets you to the line. Versus back in the day, you literally could end up in the hospital because the guy was going to go upside your head.
True. True.
The Pistons killed Michael Jordan. They might get in the weight room, and he had to change his whole dynamic. So guys could hit you a lot more. They could hand check back in the day, and it's just a little different.
All right, question from Eddie. Now that it's official and the Thunder have lost their 10th game of the season, Do you think we'll ever see another team accomplish the 73-9 that the Golden State Warriors pulled off? Is that accomplished diminished at all because they lost to LeBron and the Cavs in the finals that year?
No, because that's an accomplishment in itself. But then at the end of the day, yeah, because it's like, you go a perfect season in football and win the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your record is during the regular season. You're trying to win a chip. And I don't think a 7-3-9 is going to happen because, of the load management. So many guys load manage now. So many teams that guys don't play back-to-back. So the importance of the regular season is not as high as it used to be. And so I don't think you will ever see that again. So,
Yeah, I don't think we'll see it again.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 2007 Patriots, though, who had the perfect regular season, 18-0 going to the Super Bowl and lost to the Giants. We don't ever talk about that team as one of the great teams. They didn't lose a game except the biggest game of the year, and we never talk about the 2007 Patriots.
I know it. Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't win it. And that's where Eli got all his love from, was winning that game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. That the Warriors kind of have that same sort of at the end of the run. It's like, okay, you had 73-9. Amazing. The roster had to be ridiculous to pull that off, and you didn't win the championship.
It's true.
You're the Patriots. All right, funniest tweet of the week for me, and we'll wrap up shoot around. If you ever have anything for the shoot around, find us, send it to us. We'd love to include it. Somebody sent me the funniest tweet of the week from a dude named Austin, who posted a series of texts from his dad, who had some bad news for his son. It said, bad news. After 36 years, the garage fridge finally died. Been through a lot together. Outlasted 3 trucks and 2 wives. Went out quiet like a cowboy. Must have kept 10,000 beers cold. Thinking about giving it a proper funeral.
Wow.
So first off, shout out to the garage fridge. Always wanted a garage fridge. Don't have one. The day will come where we have the.
Have one?
No, I don't have a garage fridge. The day will come though.
I ain't got one either.
There will be a garage fridge. But the fact that he was so upset about it made me laugh because it's like, is there something that still works in your life, whether it's a piece of equipment or something you're hanging on to? It could be a shirt that when its time ends, you're going to miss it really bad.
So, my good friend Ron Finley, you heard me talk about him. He's a gangster gardener. He used to make my clothes, and his clothes were called Drop Dead. And so they were the quality. B. Shaw wore them, Mitch Richmond, Gary Payton. A lot of us wore Drop Dead, right? Will Smith, Dr. Dre, and Jodeci. I can keep going. But anyway, I have some of his clothes, and they still look brand new, right? And I've had them since I was maybe 1997. Oh. And so lately, now that the baggy stuff has come back in, some of the pants I've been wearing, and they were like, man, there's some nice pants. Where you get them from? And it's Drop Dead, dog. I'm like, so I still have those pants, man. When you got clothes that are made of good quality, you take care of your stuff. So I'm waiting for them. Like, sometimes the waistband of some clothes, you can pull them like, you find those old shorts and they don't snap back.
Yeah. Where they're all frayed up. Yeah.
These they have lasted, and mechanics sometimes looking like, what is that you wearing? Oh, it's Drop Dead, girl. Watch out. That shit still fits.
Still have that, yeah.
It was so baggy back then that now it fits me perfect because, back then I was like 245. Now I'm 295. So think about that. 50 pounds later. It fits just right.
It fits just good. I like that. Harp, do you have something in your life that when it goes, you're going to be sad?
No, usually I'll switch out of some stuff. I don't think I really have anything, honestly. Okay. Like nothing that I've really hung on to that's really now like, dang, it's gone. I got to get rid of it.
I'll tell you what, my is probably an easy answer, but it's the right answer for me. My Kia's got 212,000 miles on it. God bless that car. It had to go to the shop a week ago, and I was driving a loaner car, and I felt like I was cheating on it. Like I was like, nothing's right. This is icky and disgusting. Like nothing's in the right spot. As soon as I got that car back, I was like, I gave it a hug. I was like, oh, I missed you so much. The car's older than my daughter. I got that car in 2011, December of 2011. My daughter was born in September of 2012. So my daughter is coming up on her 14th birthday. So I've had that car for 14 years, and it still runs great, and it's still hanging on, and it's got some stuff falling off it. It's like me. It's coming apart at the seams sometimes. But man, when that car dies, I'm gonna be sad. I would give it a proper funeral, like this guy's garage fridge. We're gonna bury the car in the backyard. I'm gonna take the steering wheel off. We're gonna bury it, and we're gonna put up a little cross.
I don't think I've ever kept a car over 3 years.
God bless you, rich asshole. No, some of us have ride or dies, man. We got no choice. Okay.
I think I got a car as a sophomore in college, and then when I turned a senior, it was gone because I moved on to another car. Like, I haven't kept a car for 3 years.
Okay, so I'll give you this one. I'm 47. I'm going to be 48 in March. This is the third car I've ever owned.
Shit, I
in
can't
my
count.
whole life. I had a Ford Escort when I was in high school that I drove through college.
Ford Escort.
The Ford Escort, 4-door, 4-cylinder piece of shit
I
Ford
remember
Escort.
that.
In the year I graduated college, I bought a Ford Explorer, and I drove that until literally the wheels fell off it. I traded it in for the Kia, and I've been driving the Kia for 14 years. The third car I've ever had in my whole life.
Yeah, I've had 3 cars. Had one in high school. Got it from my grandparents. It was just sitting in their parking lot. Their driveway. My brother, at some point in time, a couple of years down the line, ended up wrecking that one. Ended up getting a Honda Accord. Had 30,000 miles on it. Bought it from somebody. Rode that till it got to 300,000.
Damn.
So through the rest of college, through 2022.
Good for you. See, Harp's in the 3-car club.
End up getting the car that I have now, and even the car that the GMC that Rob did, one you rode in when you came to Atlanta, that now even has 116,000 miles on it.
Damn.
There you go.
So that eventually I'm never going back to a car. I'm going to get an SUV from now on.
It's not even the end of January. Rob's had 3 cars this month.
Yeah.
No, I used to always have 2 cars, but I only have 1. Yeah.
Okay.